Hello and welcome. This is Nimasa This Week, the authorized voice for the maritime sector. My name is Iretiola Doyle. Now, once more, Nimasa is proving its mettle as the apex maritime regulatory agency determined to fill all her mandates. On Tuesday, the 21st of May, the National Seafarers Development Program once more achieved what it was set up for, as yet another set of Nigerian youth were sent forth to acquire training as qualified seafarers abroad. Our main feature on the show this week is on the send forth ceremony organized for these Nigerian youths at the Nimasa headquarters here in Lagos.
Taking up virtually all the available space in the otherwise expansive boardroom of Nimasa at the agency's Fur Burma Road Apapa headquarters was a group of about 100 youths made up of eager and excited young boys and girls patiently awaiting the arrival of the Director General of Nimasa, Mr. Ziakede Patrick Akbobulu Kemi, who was billed to address them on the eve of their departure for Chennai, India, to attend the famous Ahmed Maritime University. Nimasa has been sponsoring thousands of Nigerian youths to maritime academies and universities around the world as part of its National Seafarers Development Program. The program is designed to bridge the skill gap existing in the maritime sector, where Nigeria has a shortfall of around 40,000 skilled workers in the maritime sector. In the last year or so, literally thousands of youths have been sponsored to attend maritime institutions in India, Egypt, the United Kingdom, as well as the Philippines. Critical stakeholders in the maritime sector have commended the agency for the total commitment exhibited by the management in implementing the program. Comrade Ntedi Manuel, the president of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, had this to say about the program.
Nimasa was established for these two groups, the dock workers branch and the seamen and the seafarers branch of the Maritime Workers Union. And Mr. President has impacted positively in the maritime workers, to be specific, the seafaring branch. So many cadets were sent abroad for specific training. Some people were sent abroad for marine engineer, to study marine engineer, some to study naval architect, some to study how to be captain on board vessel, and a lot of field. And when these people come back, they become professional in their field, thereby reducing unemployment and thereby impacting in the maritime industry, because when they come back, they also remain the members of the Maritime Workers Union Seafaring Department. This the president have done. No president has ever done this to the maritime industry.
Professor Pat Utomi also endorsed the program, even as he labeled critics of the program ignorance.
The person does not even understand the beginning of how a country prospers. It's human capital that is at the heart of prospering. If the only thing Nimasa does is things like this, it's more than enough.
Nimasa this week spoke with some of the youths just before the send forth ceremony commenced.
My name is Okoroyini Sonyechi. I'm from Imo State. I'm on my way to India to study nautical science in Ahmed University, China, India.
My name is Lawal Mojid Olani. I'm from Oyo State, Nigeria. I'm on my way to study marine engineering in Ahmed University, Chennai, India.
My name is Nemi Maris. I'm from Delta State, Geli South Local Government area. I'm on my way to India, to Ahmed University, Chennai, to study marine engineering.
My name is Mohamed Skalajida. I am from Borno State and I am cadet in my way to go to India to study marine engineering.
My name is Fireman Betibi Tommy. I'm from Bayelsa State of Nigeria, and I'm on my way to Ahmed University to study marine engineering.
We then asked some of them how being chosen for the program had altered their plans.
Before I heard about this program, my plan was to go to University of Port Harcourt to study medicine. That was my plan.
Before now, I am studying systems engineering in University of Lagos.
My plans was to go into the university and study. Although I just got an admission, medical lab science, before I then get the scholarship. So I have to quit that for a better one.
One thing was, however, obvious. All the youth spoken to were grateful to Nimasa for the privilege afforded them to study abroad.
I never dreamt of going abroad to study, and Nimasa has given me a great opportunity that I never dreamt of. I'm so grateful to them, and I thank God Almighty.
I feel Nimasa is doing a very great job sponsoring thousands of students outside the country to go and study marine engineering. It's a very welcome program. I pray they keep it up so that many youths in Nigeria can benefit from this program, and Nigeria can be great from this.
I'm very happy for Nimasa. I'm very happy how they selected me in one of those going. I'm grateful.
The send forth ceremony proper commenced when the DG arrived with senior management of the agency as well as a special guest in the person of Professor Pat Utomi. He then proceeded to address the youths and admonish them to be of good behavior while in India. Mrs. Yakede Patrick Akpobolo-Kemi had a word for critics of the program who had recently criticized the scheme in the press.
There were some write-ups about me, Nimasa wasting money training people in this program. And I said, if the money billions that is to be spent for these young ones, I steal them, we steal them here. You say we are roots. We've decided to convert that money for the good of Nigerians and humanity. You say we are wasting money, that instead of us to build our schools and the rest of them. Now that the president wants us to use these monies to develop our people, you want me to keep this money in banks for only the banks to make profit and our young ones will be languishing? I said, no, the man who wrote this article is eating very well and can afford to take his children in any part of the world, in the Harvard, in the Oxfords, in everywhere. And it's jittery that the poor man's children will go and come back and compete with his children. This program is not a waste. It is never ever a frivolous white elephant project.
Professor Pat Utomi also addressed the youths. He enjoined them to take full advantage of the opportunity afforded them by Nimasa, and also spoke about the concept of the advantage of what he described as the youth bulge.
And economists now talk of what they call a demographic dividend, which is to say that a country that has a young population like you, what is now called the youth bulge, is actually likely to be the highest growth economy centers in the world. If we do the most important thing of converting those human beings to human capital by investing in their education and well-being. I am very proud that Nimasa has made this commitment to invest in your education and well-being.
The Executive Director, Maritime Safety and Shipping Development, Captain Ezekiel Bala Agaba himself, a veteran seafarer, regaled the group of youths on his experience as a seafaring cadet while urging them to stay focused during the time of their training and studies.
On the 15th of September 1975, I was where you guys were sitting as a cadet. And it took about 11 years to get to the master mariner level. I was going to school, sea time, without failing at the exam. I don't know what it is now, so I assume that it take you about another 10 years to become a master mariner or a chief engineer. And first time I stepped on the vessel, what I was told was a cadet is to be seen and not heard.
Captain Waridi Enesuo, the acting director of shipping development, gave the youths an insight into how fulfilling life as a qualified seafarer could be.
I'll just tell you a brief story on how beneficial the career that you have chosen can be. It is through the seafaring career I was able to buy my first house overseas. It's through the same career I was able to help train my younger ones. It is through this career that I was able to pay my aviation course as a pilot. And it is through this career I met my captain at sea when I was cadet, the executive director of maritime safety. I was his cadet, and now I'm here with him again. So you can see that Never lose sight of the person on your right side because you may see that person again. So welcome.
The coordinator of the program, Mrs. Irene McFoy, was last to address the youths, who fondly refer to her as Mama.
I believe, like the DJ rightly said, you are the chosen few. And those words of advice you have received today, you're going to build on these words, and the sky will just be your beginning in Jesus' name. DJ sir, on behalf of the cadets, the NSDP units, Nimasa at large, we want to say a big thank you to you and your executive management. And we also implore you to help us thank Mr. President whenever you see him, that the freedom, the free hand he has given to you to utilize the benefits in Nimasa to train these ones, and may God also bless him.
One of the successful candidates among the youths was then invited to respond on behalf of his colleagues.
We want to express our profound gratitude to the federal government of Nigeria and kudos to Nimasa and the glory to the Almighty God. Since 2009 till date, Nimasa has been affecting the youth of the country, people that didn't have any hope of going to school. And if they continue in this act, I know that there will be an end to youth restiveness in this country. I also know that they are trying to create a future for us as youth, so that in the future to come, they will have vibrant people that will take the country to the next level.
The excited youths could not help themselves as one of them raised a motion to give 3 hearty cheers to Nimasa.
Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
Shortly after the ceremony, we caught up with Professor Pat Utomi and asked him to expatiate on the concept of the youth bulge he alluded to in his speech.
This is really at the heart of how the youth bulge becomes a demographic dividend. When you get young people who don't have skills and then you train them, invest in them, then they become skilled people who are creating value, creating wealth, and makes for growth in the economy. The accumulation of their various talents in the things that they do will propel the economy in the direction that it desires to go.
Up next, we bring you the news on Nimasa this week.
The boardroom of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Nimasa, played host to the representative of the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission on Monday, 20th of May 2013 at their Apapa office in Lagos. The team of the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission was led by the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Dr. F. Erepamo Osaisai, who stated the reason for the visit.
What we attempt to do is being able to partner with Nimasa in a way that you might be able to provide some logistics in the implementation of this project. The expected outcomes are quite useful to us as a society, and we thought Nimasa could partner with us in a number of fields, mainly in logistics. First of all, our researchers would have to go into the ICs to collect samples in the estuarine areas, and we think that by partnering with Nimasa, we might be able to provide some of those logistics by way of some seafaring vessels, not very sophisticated ones, but ones that researchers can go into the ICs without feeling they could have accidents and drown and so on and so forth. We also would want a situation that you could partner with us to equip some of the laboratories.
After the CEO's speech, the National Coordinator of the Marine Pollution and Seafood Project, Professor Francis Ekoke gave a detailed presentation on the project, which is to promote conservation practices and sustainable management of the marine environment. The Director General, who was present to receive the guests alongside the top executive of the agency. In his response, he declared that he was not only satisfied but appreciative of the detailed information provided during the presentation by the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission representative and promised that the agency will partner with the Commission to find a lasting solution to the issue of marine pollution, which is the cardinal objective of the agency.
We've carefully listened to your presentations and your opening remarks. It's quite insightful, and we quite also appreciate the job you are doing and its relevance to those of us in the maritime sector. One of the cardinal objectives of Nimasa is to prevent marine pollution and manage pollution when it does occur, reduce the level of pollution to the various minimum. I think we will partner with you. The assistance that is needed, we're going to look at it.
At the end of the visit, the Nimasa This Week team caught up with the Executive Director of Maritime Safety and Shipping Development, Captain Ezekiel Balagaba, and asked him how Nimasa will be able to work with the Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission to achieve a cleaner marine environment.
We are going to collaborate with them, have a stakeholders meeting, let people know what's going on, do some project like taking samples of the water, seabed, and tests, so that we'll see exactly what the results are. And then we now from there advise the stakeholders in the operation of what we need to do to reduce the adverse impact on the environment.
We also spoke with the chairman and CEO of the commission, and he gave us an insight into the reason for partnering with other stakeholders to eradicate marine pollution using nuclear techniques.
Like we know, marine life is quite important to us as a nation, and it is therefore desirable that we have ways of being able to determine how unclean or possibly polluted it is. And the Nigeria Atomic Energy Commission is working in partnership with the International Atomic Energy Agency through a regional cooperation project to use nuclear techniques to assess marine pollution and how to monitor marine pollution. And it is in relation to that we are here to have discussions with the agency.
He also used the opportunity to thank the DG and his team for their cooperation and positive response to achieving certain outcomes for the benefits of the nation.
It's quite a positive outcome. A positive outcome in the sense that this is also an area that is part of the core mandate of Nimasa, ensuring marine safety as well as cleanliness of the environment. And we have had some form of understanding whereby teams from both agencies will work together in working out the ways and means, the mechanism and how this partnership will evolve to the benefit of Nigerians.
In another development, Dr. Mrs. Felicia Mogo, an Assistant Director in the Marine Environment Management Department of Nimasa and a member of the Scientific Group on the implementation of the London Protocol on the Prevention of Pollution of the Sea, has been appointed as a member of a 3-nation Scientific Review Committee on the London Protocol. The other nations in the Scientific Review Committee are Australia and South Korea. Her appointment marks the first time that an African will be appointed to such a committee by the International Maritime Organization. Nimasa This Week had a chat with her about the London Protocol, and the first thing we asked her was to elaborate on its objectives.
Actually, the London Protocol of 1996, as it is called, is an extension It's a protocol of the convention, London Convention of 1972. So with London Convention of 1972, which deals actually with the prohibition of dumping of waste and other matters in the marine environment. But the protocol now kind of have what we have a list of waste that could be dumped, in keeping with some regulations, with some guidelines, while some are not to be dumped at all. Like, for example, radioactive materials that are prohibited from dumping.
We then went on to ask Dr. Mogo what benefits Nigeria stands to gain if we implement the London Protocol.
Though we know that you cannot stop pollutants from getting into the marine environment, the way they say that the garden of Eden is no more, but then what we are talking about is sustainability, wise use of the marine environment. You know that Nigeria is very well endowed. Research has also shown that we have more of biodiversity in the marine environment than we have upland. We know the importance in trading also, when it comes to lifting of our crude and even other petroleum products and other things we export and we import. And as such, we have to ensure that we maintain a sustainable environment, which is actually very, very, which is the heart. It has a heart, it has a place, a heart and soul in the DG's transformation agenda.
The London Convention and Protocol on the Marine Environment is an international convention. It therefore begs the question, how much say did Nigeria as a nation have in its formulation and implementation?
Oh yeah, Nigeria has a very strong voice in issues of implementation of London Protocol and Convention, because as we are speaking now, Nigeria is a member of the scientific group on the implementation of the protocol, and with the effort Nigeria is making, we had a workshop. The DG approved that we should have a workshop and the other in February this year, and after the workshop too, we are now going to drive it further. And I'm glad to tell you that I'm a member of the scientific group, of the implementation of the protocol, So Nigeria has also moved further through Nimasa, through the support of the Director General. Nigeria, along with Australia and Republic of Korea, is reviewing the London Protocol. Nigeria, Nimasa, myself, through my membership, is overseeing, representing the West and Central African regions. That means that Nigeria stands there not to just speak for Nigeria, but also to speak for the 16 countries in West Africa and also the 6 countries in Central Africa, and also come up with what we call action list. This action list will always advise us on the plumb direction, the impact this waste can have on the environment and even the sites where it should be dumped.
We rounded up our conversation with Dr. Felicia Mogo by asking her how prepared Nimasa was as an agency to see to the proper implementation of the London Protocol, seeing how extensive Nigerian territorial waters are.
The issues of sustainable development, of which implementation of London Protocol is one, is in the heart and soul of the DG's transformation agenda. And the Executive Director of Maritime Safety and Shipping Development, who is also the Executive Director of Marine Environment Management Department, ensures, being a technocrat, he ensures that the approval of the DG, that we come up with a follow-up action on the implementation of this protocol is really will be implemented to the last. And he's ensuring that we come up with our own waste assessment guideline, and also development of conceptual models, and a peer review mechanism with other countries that are already implementing that. With that kind of support and everything, we are sure that, I'm telling you for sure, that Nimasa is very, very ready to achieve full compliance of the London Convention and its protocol, even beyond Nigeria, up to West African coast, Central Africa, and globally.
Now that is our show for this week. As always, we hope we kept you educated and informed. Now please don't forget, Nimasa This Week is an interactive show. We want to hear from you. All you need to do is send that email to the address currently showing on your screen. Now I'm going to be here, same time, same station next week. Until then, I'm wishing you smooth sailing and bon voyage.